Hi, I'm Rebecca Shake from Flourishing Childhood, and today I'd like to share some of Dr. Solter's work with you. Dr. Solter is a world-renowned developmental psychologist who is known as an expert on attachment, trauma, and non-punitive discipline. I love Dr. Solter's work as it is based on sound developmental science and research. Dr. Solter is the founder of the Aware Parenting Institute, and I'm a Level 2 Aware Parenting teacher here in London. Today I'd like to share some work from her book Attachment Play. Attachment Play is literally the go-to book in our house because it really supports not only children when they're finding behaviour difficult, but also to help them through little stresses and bigger traumas that occur in their life. Play is the magic key to our children's hearts. In the book, Dr. Solter lists 9 forms of play. Today I'd like to just share one of those with you, and that's called non-directive play. Non-directive play is such a beautiful way to connect with our children because not only does it help them to go around to cooperate more and be easygoing and helps them to listen more, it also helps them to bring little stresses and traumas to the play that they can then heal from, which also means that their behaviour improves, because often behaviour, usually and always behaviour, is an indication that there is something going on for that child. So with non-directive play, what we do is we set aside set time. So I usually say about 30 minutes. Dr. Solter recommends 30 minutes a day, where possible, very difficult in our busy lives. But you take that time to play whatever your child wants to play. So put away your phone, have your tea, make sure you go to the toilet and really focus on what your child needs. It's amazing what they bring to that play. So many times my children brought little stresses to the play. One of my favourite examples is I set aside this time once and we were playing something and suddenly my daughter said, "Oh, we're on the escalators." And I was like, "What?" And I remembered about 3 months previous I had left her because I had the baby in my carrier, and I just suddenly went and she was left behind and the lady had to bring her down and she was quite upset at the time. And so in this game, we played a game where she left me, I left her, we came down together and it ended off, and we never played that again. So it really opens up a time that they can bring things that they need to work through. But not only that, it's just a time you can focus and be connected, because the more connected your children are, the more cooperative they will be. It's also a time where we don't direct, so it's not about teaching our child anything. If they said that something was blue and it was black, we don't need to say anything. It really is a time just to be there, focusing on them. I also know that sometimes it can feel a little bit boring if you've had 15 cups of tea and you've cut up 500 pieces of imaginary cake. You might not want to do any more. So what helps me is to simply focus on them. That will bring you into the present moment and they'll feel connected. So I tend to look at their little hands and look at their long eyelashes and just try to be really present in that moment. What also helps is setting the time. So 30 minutes for me works quite well. Of course, my children never want it to end, but at least I know I have that 30 minutes to really focus on it, and it helps me to focus and be there and be present. Whereas if it goes on too long, I lose concentration. So it's much better to have a time that you can manage. The other thing that really helps me is just to make sure that I set that limit after the 30 minutes, because it's really important to do what you can do. And if you go beyond that, children feel that disconnection and that irritation. So it's best to stick to the time that you say. And also, what can happen when you set that limit is that your child might have other feelings to express. So it might be an opportunity for them to have a cry or a tantrum, unfortunately. But the more I learn about tantrums and raging and crying, the more I know it's another way children can release their stress and trauma. So I sometimes will stop a little bit earlier if I know that that might happen, to give them time to release. And it doesn't mean we have to carry on playing. We can simply say, you found it really hard to stop that, but it is time to move on now. And yes, you really want to carry on, but we can't do that now. And to listen to the feelings that come out. because every little thing that has a beginning and an end is like a little separation for children. So those crying and that raging is actually releasing not only separations then, but separations that have happened in the past. So I hope this helps a little bit. Non-directive play is the holy grail in our house. When things are getting difficult and our children's behaviour is getting difficult, this is the thing that we make sure we go back to and we reinstate so that our children can feel connected and hence cooperative and make our life a lot easier. So I hope this helps. Please contact me on www.flourishingchildhood.com. My email is flourishingchildhood@gmail.com if you have any further questions. And do buy her book, Attachment Play, because it has loads of ideas to support you, and I will bring you some more of the types of play very soon. Thank you.